Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. A wild ride for precious metals driven by fear. Didn't leave you hanging too long, did I? Let's explore. I'm going to be referencing an article I think that's very well written on bullionvault.com. This is fascinating and kind of gives you a little bit of insight as to what's going on in the world of precious metals. And we're seeing a lot of volatility all over the place. These fears, inflation fears, is really what it's about. It's starting to rear its ugly head in the mainstream now. You know, this talk of transitory inflation that the Fed has been saying, not a lot of people believe the hype or the lack of hype. In other words, the calming nature that Jerome Powell wants to send to us all subliminally and just straight out, just let us know, hey, everything's going to be okay because the Fed is in control. We don't believe it. For sure, this thing could go out of control quickly. And I think the volatility in the market is an example of that to a degree here. The article starts saying that gold, silver, and platinum prices, they've whipped sharply in London trade today on Wednesday. This is the 19th of May, 2021. This is falling and then rallying as global stock markets dropped, commodities fell, and cryptocurrencies sank ahead of today's release of meeting notes from the U.S. Federal Reserve's latest policy decision, expected to show discussion of cutting quantitative easing or interest rates rising earlier than publicly stated. Since the Fed's no change announcement to end April, both U.S. and Chinese inflation data blew past analyst forecast last week, with market-based forecast for U.S. inflation hitting their highest since 2013, above 2.5% per annum. The UK and Canada today both reported faster than expected rises in the cost of living for April. Well, everything's going up. It's insane in the membrane how much everything has climbed in recent weeks and even months here. Everything from lumber to housing costs to bread, milk, sugar, flour, everything is going up. It's just crazy to see the increase in prices out there. And I don't think there's any slowing down for it in the near-term future. Inflation in the 19-nation Eurozone, the world's third largest single currency economic bloc, however, slowed to 0.7% per year on the core measure excluding volatile food and fuel. And why is that happening? Well, they have been a bit more restrained in their quantitative easing and their modern monetary theory that here in the United States we have not been as constrained, and which is quite obvious, especially with the policies that are in place with the current administration. With crude oil prices falling sharply and copper also dropping 2.5% after making fresh all-time highs last week, the price of gold sank over $20 per ounce from yesterday's new 3-month high near $18.75, only to regain most of that loss in New York trading as New York trading began. So it's been kind of a wild ride for gold. I remember seeing it rise earlier in the day and then kind of staving off a bit here. Big institutional investors are dumping Bitcoin and going back into gold. This is from CNBC, quoting analysis from U.S. investment bank and London bullion giant J.P. Morgan. Yes, indeed. The old arch nemesis of the stacking community, J.P. Morgan. Yes, indeed, who have been caught red-handed manipulating precious metals. People mistake, that are somewhat familiar with my channel, selectively think that I'm don't believe that manipulation is happening. I've never said that. I've never said that manipulation isn't happening. I'm saying that there's not seen much evidence of it on price suppression by a cabal of the financial institutions, the big banks. But as far as within any institution, there are examples and evidence of manipulating precious metal prices up and down in order for those involved to personally profit. That's right. So they can make money on the trades. Spoofing. That's what spoofing's about. They don't care what the price of gold and silver is. They just want to line their pockets to be able to utilize and hide themselves under the guise of high-frequency trading. That's what they do. So that is the manipulation that does occur. Cryptocurrency markets were a sea of red Wednesday, with top 3 tokens, Bitcoin down 14%, Ethereum down 22%, and XRP down over 21% over the last 24 hours after Beijing banned financial institutions and payment companies in China from providing any services to crypto traders and providers. No mention here of Elon Musk, but we know that played a part as well, too. Maybe the people at Bullion Vault don't want to give Elon Musk too much power or credit for this. But nonetheless, interesting indeed. The country has been home to around 90% of the global trade in the sector, says one estimate, but crypto's steep volatility threatens to seriously violate people's asset safety and disrupt normal economic and financial order, says the People's Bank of China, reporting the joint statement from the communist dictatorship's state-backed internet banking and payments industry associates. Beijing's Politburo also vowed today to fight unreasonable rises in commodity prices by stockpiling raw materials and monitoring spot and futures markets more closely. German inflation expectations for the next 5 to 10 years have risen to its highest level since 2018, says data from Bloomberg ahead of today's Fed meeting minutes. My composite measure of UK inflation is now 4.7% based on today's releases, says former UK monetary policy maker Andrew Sentence. Latest figures show broad-based rise in all inflation indicators. It would be negligent for the Bank of England to ignore this inflation surge. And my guess is that the Federal Reserve is going to. They won't raise interest rates, is my prediction. And of course, if they do, they may test the waters with a very, very, very small increase. But I would think that would lend to maybe gold and silver falling a bit. With gold prices back up near 1870, early after London silver cut its gain for the week so far from 4.8% to just under a percentage point to trade back at $27.67 per ounce. We'll actually look at the latest numbers here in a moment. The price of platinum dropped through $1,200 per ounce for the first time in 2 weeks, losing over 10% from February's 6.5-year high. Although I'm still bullish on platinum, I think that's going to turn around soon. I really do. But that's just a hunch. You don't know. We'll see here. But they think, at least Stephen Forrest, an analyst at SFA Oxford, thinks that platinum has already achieved its high for the year. And so we'll see. So the people differ on that. I still think it's got room to move up. It is. So we'll see how it plays. But nonetheless, fascinating to see where things are. As of the recording of this video, the metals prices are as follows. We are seeing gold up just 50 cents now, pulling back from its earlier gains, up 50 cents to $1,870. $1,870.60. Silver is down 44 cents, so it's taken somewhat of a beating to under $28 again. The volatility is on the march there. So silver is down 44 cents. Platinum is down $30 to $11.94. Palladium is down $36 to $29.28, below the $3,000 level. Now, there you have it. The metals prices are where they are at, and they will continue to perplex us probably for the next couple of weeks here. The gold to silver ratio has now risen to 67.47 there. So very interesting indeed. And so we'll see how this all plays out. But I think in the long run, we are going to see the prices of the metals continue to do what they always do and preserve our wealth, and they will rise. I'm bullish for both gold and silver. And why is that? There's an earthquake coming, folks, and that earthquake is the result of bad policies by politicians and by the central banks and big banks around the world. And they're all doing the bad, wrong things in order to preserve, the institutions of our monetary system. They are destroying it. And so therefore, it is incumbent upon us to protect ourselves in those times by getting money that cannot be destroyed, gold and silver. So we shall continue to endeavor in that regard and continue to stack these precious metals that have fared so well for us for millennia. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Gold and silver, they are what they are, and they will continue to be what they always have been. So I hope you've found this video insightful. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.